Hello everyone. So I didn't think I was gonna make a video like this, but after what I have experienced and what I'm currently experiencing, I felt the necessity to do this video. So this video is directed towards iCON Pro Audio. Please see this as constructive criticism and feedback from a customer, which hopefully can be somewhat of a spokesman for other customers, since I feel that many others share my feelings. This video is not meant as a rant. I don't think iCON Pro Audio sucks. I absolutely think they are serious, but I do feel there are things that needs to be fixed. iCON Pro Audio was the only company, and still currently is the only company, offering a product that suits my needs, which is the P1-M. So of course I want them to do well. I was thinking perhaps this video can be sort of a feedback thread, so to you guys who are watching, please comment down below if you agree or disagree with my takes. And please comment down below if you feel that there are other things that should be improved or, issues that you are experiencing which I'm not mentioning in this video. Okay, let's get right into it. I don't want the video to be too long, so let's go. So what I want to do is run through my experience. So, I ordered the P1-M, I got it delivered, I opened up the package, I checked what's included within the package, and I read the manual, and then I started installing. So to begin with, there is no mentioning about this USB-C adapter which you are provided. So, in my head, I'm thinking that I can use this adapter, and we have later found out that iCON does not recommend you to use the adapter which you are being provided with. They instead recommend you to plug your controller straight into the computer. That's a confusion right there. I am being delivered something which I am later on finding out that I shouldn't use. My proposal to iCON Pro Audio is that they let the customer know when they open the package, written in the manual or a separate note, that the USB-C adapter should only be seen as a last resort. Moving on in this thing, I don't know what you call this, but in this thing, you are being directed to the help center for support, so let's take a look at that. Also, by the way, let me know if any one of you guys are able to use this USB-C adapter and having it working. I am just curious to see if there actually is anyone who can use this. Here we have the help center, and these promoted articles right here are included within the FAQ, so we'll click on here. So at the time I saw these known issues articles, and this one is about compatibility, and M1 Max is mentioned here, and that is the system I'm using, so I clicked on this. So let's go through this one. So to begin with, it says 2 years ago here and updated, and I don't know if that means that it was originally posted 2 years ago and has been updated since, or if it means that it was updated 2 years ago. Anyway, in my mind, I didn't find any else compatibility article, so I'm thinking that this applies to me. And if we go down here, it says limited compatibility with AMD, Apple M1 Max and M1 Pro processors. So let's read here. Updating to our latest firmware versions can bring your iCON controller into full compatibility with AMD, M1 Max and M1 Pro processors. However, and with caps, our firmware upgrade device is not compatible with AMD, M1 Max or M1 Pro. At the time, I thought, wait, I cannot upgrade my P1-M on my computer. Does that mean that the update I just did is the reason why my controller is behaving this way? However, I later found out that this does not apply to at least the P1-M, and I would assume that it doesn't apply to the V1-M and the P1-M Nano, is it called? I don't know what it's called, but the little thing. This confusion can easily be fixed by, writing in parentheses perhaps here, does not include the, and then you mention what product it doesn't include. So then there was this article that was relevant for me at the time, so let's check this one. So this one says all DAW controllers, iCON Pro Audio Control Surface Troubleshooting Checklist. And it first says, is your control surface connected directly to your computer? And At the time, it wasn't at first, because I was thinking that my adapter worked. And it says, check to confirm that the device is not disconnected or connected via USB hub. And with USB hub, they also mean adapters. I have found out this way on forums, messages, emails, etc. that it's recommended that you plug your control surface straight into your computer. No hubs, no additional cords, no adapters, nothing. So here we are kind of experiencing double messaging. They recommend you to not connect it via a hub nor an adapter. We are being delivered an adapter. It is not mentioned in the package that we shouldn't use the adapter. So yeah, again, let the customer know within the package that that is only seen as a last resort. Moving on to the email support. My overall experience with email support is good. I got in contact with a guy named Tom, and he managed to resolve my disconnecting freezing issue. And the maximum amount of days I had to wait was 3 days, I think. And I don't think that's too long. That is fine, I think. But unfortunately, my issues didn't end there. And with that, I want to show you the issues I'm currently experiencing. Some of these issues are mentioned in my previous video, but I will go through them anyway because, since this is a kind of a feedback video to iCON Pro Audio, I want to showcase everything in this video. So I have updated the P1-M to the latest firmware, and it seems like that every encoder issue I had has been resolved except the first one, and the first one has actually become worse somehow. So what the issue was, when I rotated the encoders quickly, the value of whatever parameter I control moved weird. It either jumped very, very weird, or it barely moved at all. But this seemed to be fixed on, well, every encoder but the first one. Let's open up the channel window and I'll showcase what I mean here using the channel EQ. I'll rotate the 7th encoder right here at a normal pace. And to me, it seems to work as it should. When rotating the first encoder, even at a normal pace, which didn't happen before, this is behaving very strange. Look at this. Normal pace. There, it went backwards. And there it yanked back and forth. So this first encoder has actually gotten way worse than previously. That is my first issue. The second issue is also something I mentioned in my first video, and that is that I cannot select every plugin. I cannot find every plugin within the plugin mode by using the encoders right here. It skips 3 plugins, so it only sees every 4th plugin. So as you see here, Saturn 2 appears. And Saturn 2 is the 4th plugin appearing here. So, let's see here. In order. So here we have Black Salt Audio, BSA Clipper, Silencer, and then we have Timeless 3 and then Saturn 2. So, next plugin will be 1, 2, 3, 4 Pro L2, right? Yeah. Despite that I barely use this feature, I would prefer that everything works, so, worth mentioning. Now let's move on, drum roll, to some new issues. Yes. As I'm recording this, I want to say that most of the issues are irregular. There's only one of the issues I'm going to talk about that is regular, And why that is worth mentioning, especially here, is that when I'm talking about one issue that I want to showcase, it may be that another issue will occur since it's very irregular. Anyway, let's start with the issue that is happening regularly, and that has to do with the touchscreen. When we press, we'll just showcase it. When we solo a channel, like this channel is soloed, and we deactivate the solo. Observe the solo defeat touch button, or whatever, here. It's highlighted when we have soloed the channel, and that's correct, and it correctly stops being highlighted when we press solo again. So this is how it should work. And also, if we solo on the control surface and we click here in Cubase, deactivate all solo states, it correctly stops being highlighted. However, if we do what we want to do, we solo a channel and then we press the solo defeat on the actual controller, it does not stop being highlighted until we press a second time. I cannot imagine that it's how it's supposed to be, so, that's that. Very, very minor issue, but, since I'm having so many issues, I want to mention everything. Very minor issue, but that's an issue. So I am experiencing more highlight issues on the touchscreen, though irregular, when I select what I want to control with the encoders. I do believe that this only or mostly happens when the music is playing. So what happens is when I select between these options, so panning, plugin mode, EQ mode, channel strip mode, these update correctly. I don't think I have seen it behave wrongly when the music is paused. But if I start to play the music and I do this, this may also trigger another issue, we'll see. But what will happen eventually is that it will not update the highlight. So, it may result in that nothing is highlighted, several options are highlighted. Well, we'll see. So I'll play the music and switch between the encoder options and you can just observe. So there we have it. Here we can see that both plugin and DIN FX aux are highlighted. In reality, we are on the channel strip mode. So, this plugin mode will be highlighted until we have clicked on it again. So, if we click pan here, it will still be highlighted. Instrument, it will still be highlighted. So we need to click on plugin and then, pan, and it will go away. Again, this is very irregular, so sometimes nothing is highlighted, sometimes 2 options are highlighted, and sometimes even 3 options can be highlighted. There's another thing that can happen when I choose to switch between these modes, and it happens when I click on the EQ. Let me try to trigger it and you will see. And there we have it, the display meterbridge freeze. So when this happens, the controller is not frozen, we can play. And it's not disconnected, so at least that's good. But, the display of things are frozen, so the meterbridge won't update, the display won't update when we play. And the lights here on the bottom won't update, it says that it's playing, but in reality it's not playing. And how I remove it is, I don't know, I can do several things, but I can click on the touchscreen, I guess, and it will make it work again. Annoying, right? But what's even more annoying is the next issue I will show you now. So the next issue is when I am switching between channel banks. The controller, or rather the faders, sometimes, actually not uncommon at all, doesn't update correctly. So, let me show you here. When the music isn't playing, I have yet to see, right? I have yet to see the controller fail, or the faders fail, to update correctly. Anyway, when playing the music, it is absolutely not uncommon that this happens. And I'll just play you the music and you will see what I'm talking about. So nothing happened there on the last one. So currently the faders are not correct. As we can see here on this track, right here. Oh, also fun fact, the meterbridge is frozen. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Anyway, as we can see here, I don't know if this fader is correct. This fader is correct. But this fader, as you can see in Cubase, the X hat here, is in reality on 0 dB, but according to the controller, which hasn't updated, it's way down below here. So, imagine a real life scenario. Let's say that I think this track is a little bit too loud, let's say. And then I want to lower the volume of this a little bit. And then I move it a little bit. And suddenly I get a reduction of, minus 19 dB. Not really what I want. And you can imagine what happens if it is the opposite. If the actual track inside of Cubase is, minus 19 dB and the fader is close to 0 dB and you're thinking, oh, I want to increase the volume of this a little bit, or I want to decrease the volume of this a little bit. And then you touch the fader and then you will have a 19 dB spike. Yeah. Now I'm aware that I'm trying to trigger the issue, but it is happening quite frequently while working and it is really annoying. I have one more issue just because I'm feeling nice. Sharing is caring, right? And this one is really weird. And, I don't know. I have tried to trigger this before making this video just to see if I actually can. And, when I did try, it happened really, really quick the first time. The second time I tried to trigger it, it took a little bit longer, but it eventually happened. So let's see how quickly it happens now. Let's see if I have to edit or not. But what happens? I love that the meter bridge is frozen as I'm speaking. But what happens is when I'm fiddling with the touchscreen and clicking on the select buttons, I only think it happens when I click on the select buttons. So fiddling here with the touchscreen and clicking on the select buttons, the controller, I don't know, it does different things every time, I feel like. But a typical thing that could happen is that suddenly DAW layer 2 activates and the faders are locked. So, I'm clicking select and it swaps DAW layers, it changes to another DAW layer and the faders are locked. So I'll just try to trigger it and let's see what happens, I guess. Well, the meter bridge is frozen. Nice. It doesn't happen. This looks good. Darn it. It happened. Or did it? Didn't I click select and it muted stuff? I don't know. I think something happened here. We'll see if I can notice this when I edit. But yeah, I will try to trigger it again. There we go. I clicked select, I think. Hard to keep track on what I'm doing here. And we have DAW layer 3 selected. I certainly didn't click on DAW layer 3, right? So somehow by clicking on the button here, I have now selected DAW layer 3. Luckily, this is very rare that it happens. Now, before I end the video, I want to remind you guys to comment down below whether you agree or disagree with me on takes, if there are things that I have not mentioned which you should be mentioned in here, as well as, as feedback to iCON Pro Audio. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I do have more video ideas for the P1-M, so who knows, maybe the next video will be P1-M related as well. Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, take care.